Hello, welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead Podcast. We are the Two Chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Aaron, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, everyone, welcome to episode 50.
And happy February.
Yep, it's getting a little chilly.
It is very cold tonight.
I think this is going to be the coldest day of the season tomorrow morning.
Really?
For us, at least.
It wasn't colder back in December?
I don't think it was. I think tomorrow's going to be, because I think it's supposed to be -8 when I get up in the morning.
I thought it would have been colder than that, but I don't know. It's been a weird up and down winter.
Yeah, it has been. So, but we're going to talk about some eggs.
Yes.
Today.
So
we're going to jump into the main topic right away.
Okay.
Then we'll do the updates in a little bit.
So, obviously everybody has known that the eggs have gotten very expensive. And I have a lot of people ask me, like, well, how can you afford to do chickens? Like, eggs are so expensive. And I haven't really noticed our feed, like, any more expensive than it was a couple years ago.
It's probably gone up about $4 or $5 a bag, I would say.
Really?
Because I think it was like $12 a bag. But we're buying better feed.
But we just bought one that was $14.99.
Right, and that was the cheap house brand stuff. Whereas we were...
Well, I know we used to buy that stuff that had the shell in it. The oyster shell in it.
That
like
stuff
the
was expensive.
Was it Purina? Not Purina.
Purina with the oyster shells.
Yeah. So, but it's been a long time. We haven't used that at all with this flock.
No.
Because we just give them the shells. Or the, whatever you would call that.
Right, and they get bones and
yeah.
stuff, and they'll just peck at whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but overall, I haven't really noticed the feed that expensive. But then, in the chicken groups, then you see all these people going, oh, well, I can't afford eggs, so maybe I should just get chickens. And it's like, well, I hope you did your math, because it's not cheap.
No.
It's not expensive.
No, but there's a startup.
I mean, we built our coop before COVID.
Yes.
Before the wood went up.
Yes.
And I can't even imagine. I don't think we would have done it if it was...
Well, our coop pre-COVID prices, including pulling a $200 permit, was $1,200.
Yeah.
And that was wood and hardware cloth. I think the wood alone was $400.
Yeah, hardware cloth was the more expensive thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But nowadays, I mean, I don't know, has wood gone down to that price?
I don't think so. I think it's still $8 a stick for 2x8s.
But it's been more expensive than it is right now.
Yes, I think so. I don't think it's dropped all the way, but it's still $6 to $8 for a 2x4x8.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of thought you got to put into... You can't just go get chickens.
No.
And be done.
Right. And there's a time frame. You're going to have 24 to 32 weeks before you even get an egg.
Yeah. Yeah, depending on the breed. I mean, some are very late, and some are,
And some just don't lay all that great at all.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have to look into, how many eggs they supposedly lay, over the course of a year.
Right, and I think we have gone on the higher end. We look at usually 260 to 300.
Yeah, when we go to Rural King, each little pamphlet tells you, obviously it's, an approximate.
Right. It's a ballpark, and you're not going to get as much when they molt and all this other stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's funny that then all of a sudden they don't realize that it takes forever to get that first egg. And it's like, you still have to buy eggs. Yeah. And that first egg is still going to cost you $1,000. And feed the chickens. So for a long time, you're doing both.
Right.
And not getting anything out of them.
Yeah.
And it's not, again, they're a commitment. They live, ours have a deadline. But they can live, 6 years, 7 years, probably more than that.
Yeah, probably more than that, but you're only going to get eggs out of them for like the first 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then they really start to peter off.
Yeah, so then you're feeding them for nothing.
Right.
They're fun. We enjoy them. We don't just have them just for eggs. They're entertainment too. And
Yeah, I mean they and they're garbage disposals.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, and anything extra goes to them.
Right.
You know, we can't do that with the rabbits. The rabbits get some kind of stuff, but the chickens, they will get everything from a turkey up to veggies, stuff out of the garden.
Yeah, I mean, we don't give them like all the processed
Right.
or sugar or anything like that, but
Right. But if there's spaghetti, it's going out there.
yeah.
They'll eat it.
Yep. And then with our outdoor run, because we don't free range, because
No.
we are still in a neighborhood,
Right.
but having that outdoor area, that made a huge difference in the summer, like how much feed they go through.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, we're throwing more over that little fence. The fence is only about 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it's chicken wire.
Yeah.
It's chicken wire, T-posts, and some 550 paracord to keep hawks out.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, it was what, $100 to do that? And
Yeah. Now, have they been out there since we've had a summer that walnuts fall?
No, they have not.
Okay. So
But they're
hopefully they don't.
they're gonna get hit more with the
Acorns.
than they are the walnuts.
Walnut might knock one out.
Well, I'll figure that out.
So yeah, I mean, we're throwing weeds and anything. We
Right.
have spots in the yard that we leave tall grass, and I go through with my little, push mower that's not motorized,
Yep.
and just slice it down and
Well, I
rake
mean,
it up
and-
and
and
throw it over to them.
Any clumps that we get out of the big mower when I mow the yard and it's
Yeah.
tall, we scoop them up and throw
Yeah.
them to them.
Yeah, so I mean, I think getting chickens or any kind of animal, you have to have a handful of reasons why you want to do it, and not just because eggs are expensive
Right.
or pork is expensive, so we're going to get a pig.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing.
Right. And reality, when it comes down to it, it's going to cost you more than what you can buy the stuff in the store for, but it's better for you. And if you are not planning ahead to do this stuff, you're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. You've got to have ways that you're going to preserve excess. Like, I mean, I have 3 jars, I think, full of water glassed eggs. I've got multiple quart jars full of freeze-dried scrambled eggs.
Right.
We haven't had to use any of those. I really need to, because the glassed eggs only last for 18 months.
Yeah, and you had that set go bad, too.
Yes, yeah.
So,
I did have that. And the other 2 are still clear, so...
Right.
But I need to use them, but I haven't even needed to because...
They're still laying.
Yeah. I mean, we get 3 to 5 eggs a day from our 7... Do we have 7 chickens?
8.
We have 8?
I think so. We should have 8.
I think we have 7. I thought... Well, anyway.
Maybe it is 7. I don't know. Either way.
I mean, we don't even have that many. We can't remember. It's not like... But... Where was I? But yeah, so... Yeah, you will have times where... I mean, I've had 3 bowls and more on my counter of eggs, and you got to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Or sell them.
Or give them away.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't sell a dozen eggs less than $5.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was selling, because I don't want to sell.
Right.
I don't want to be that person that people go to
get the
to
cheap
buy
ones.
eggs. I want to be able to give them to my parents when they need eggs. I want to be able to give 2 dozen eggs to our neighbor because he's going on a fishing trip.
Or he's got company coming
Something,
over.
yeah.
You know, and anything to help our network out.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah, I don't... And I've had people, like in the past month, ask to buy eggs. And it's like, it's winter. I'm not getting as many.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Yeah. I mean, we've already invested the money in them when we want them for us.
Yeah.
I mean, an egg to us is a lot more expensive or worth a lot more than a monetary value.
Right. We have them because we want to be able to have breakfast for dinner like we did tonight and lose count. How many eggs have I done so far? I have no idea, but it's enough.
Right. And it's food. I mean, and we may have I think we had a little bit extra left over because we made a little bit too much. Well, you know what? We're going to go give them to the chickens in the morning.
Yeah.
And they're going to get a snack.
Yep.
If they decide to come out in the 4 inches of snow.
Yeah, tomorrow they may still be locked up. up. It's so cold that they don't need to be walking out there.
Yeah. And they don't really want to either.
No. But yeah, I think I know we got the rabbits because of the meat shortage scare.
Right.
But you researched the hell out of it before we did any of it.
And I knew it was going to be 6 to 8 months before we could even breed them. And then you're looking at another 3 months after that.
Yeah.
So you're almost a year down the road.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm a year down the road and we're just processing our first chicken. I think it was 10 months.
Yeah.
From when we got them to when we actually had the first rabbit. And I probably had $1,500 into it.
Yeah.
For 6 rabbits.
Yeah.
That we had, and at $10 a pound. So, I mean, we had... figure it this way. Each rabbit was about 4 pounds. We did 6 rabbits, so that's 24 pounds. At $10 a pound, if I were to go sell them, you're $240.
Yeah.
That's not that much.
No. And that's another... we didn't get into that to sell either, and that's a whole other area that we don't even want to get involved in, selling meat.
And, it costs us a ton of money to get that amount of food, but now it's running okay. I think we're even, if not maybe pulling ahead right now.
Yeah.
Finally, and we're 2 years into it.
Yeah. The first year was like, boom, boom, boom. We got this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And then the second year was like, we don't got this. Like...
Yeah. Yeah. It was a serious wake-up call, and we changed a lot of shit up.
Yeah.
But you're going to run into those issues. You can't just go into it going, oh, I'm going to do this because it's going to save me money in the long run. It may save you money in the long run.
Yeah.
But it is going to cost you a ton of money up front.
And you've got to do it. You got to do it and know, okay, this is what I want to be doing. Like, this is what I'm going to do for the foreseeable future, or for as long as this animal is around. Not just when the news says egg prices are going down and now you're going to sell your chickens.
Right.
Because no one's going to want them.
Right. If you're talking 6 months down the road and you haven't had an egg yet, I'll buy them from you.
Well, right, yeah.
I'll
keep us in mind if
I'll give you $10 a bird. And it's $10 I didn't have to spend raising one up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that there aren't. Actually, somebody in a group just posted that a local feed store or something showed up a truck full of like 8-month-old hens and was selling them for, I don't even know how much they were.
$25 usually.
Yeah, it's like, shoot, that's a good deal.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get them from the auction, but then you run into your next headache is adding to your flock.
Well, right. That's
a chore and a half.
Yeah, and I was just talking today, I think, in one of the chats that we've got the one coop. And we can get chicks and keep them in a brooder because they stay in there for 8 weeks.
Yeah, 8 to 12 weeks.
And then before they would move into the coop, well, then our chickens need to go somewhere. Like, you can't just go, here's your new friends.
Right.
And, our coop is only made for 10 chickens.
Not even. It's really 5 to 6 to 7, somewhere in that range. I think we have one more out there than we should have.
Yeah.
For the size of coop that we have. But you know what? That extra run helps.
Yeah.
They're not pecking each other.
No, they're not. But still, you can't add in 8 more chickens and expect them to...
Exactly.
They call it a pecking order for a reason.
Yeah.
Because they're vicious.
Yes, they are. They're little raptors.
So now it's like, shoot, when we need to change them again, because it'll be next year that we'll start talking about getting new chickens.
Right.
That, do we really want to have that 8-month period of no eggs, or figure out a way to keep those ones somewhere until they're laying and then process the older ones and then be able to move them right in? And I don't know. It's something we'll have to discuss.
Right. Or we get ahead of the curveball and freeze dry a bunch of them.
Well, right. That's another thing, is you could preserve a bunch and then you're set anyway.
But it costs you a fortune to preserve them. buy the equipment to preserve the eggs.
If you don't already have it, yeah.
Right. I mean, it's if you were to go out and buy a freeze dryer plus chickens, you're $5-6 grand.
Yeah.
Easy. For what?
Yeah.
A couple,
Yeah, and
couple
then
dozen eggs.
right. Yeah, and then water glassing was pretty easy, but still, you gotta that lime is not cheap.
No.
I mean, the way I bought it anyway, I'm sure that you can find them. In a bigger container, but
Yeah.
and still, it's
probably.
not even a promise that it's gonna work. Because I had that one that must have had a hairline crack in it and got all weird, and then I opened it up and it was like, I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, I was not home when you opened that up.
And I'm reading, of course I'm posting in these groups like, is there anything I can do? And people are like, oh yeah, just take that one egg out. Don't worry about it. And I couldn't.
Yeah.
I could not eat the other ones because it was just, oh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, none of this is guaranteed.
No. And you may have predators as well. If you're not taking care of it, you're taking the precautions to keep predators out.
Well, yeah. Or
you let them in.
Yeah.
Because you
or you
forgot
have
to
your little welcome wagon and tell them to come on in. We got free heat for you.
Exactly. I mean, it's reality. I mean, the birds are cheap, but it's all the stuff to go with the birds.
So yeah, I'm not trying to make it sound like you shouldn't get chickens.
Right.
You should. If you want chickens, you should get chickens.
Yeah.
But don't get them expecting it to be super easy.
Right.
And expecting to get eggs the next day.
Right.
Or even in a month, because you're not.
I want everybody to have their own food independence and have their ability to make their own food. Mm-hmm. Getting chickens is step one. Rabbits, I would probably say, is either before the chickens or directly after the chickens. I mean, those are the two things that have helped us. If we could run hogs on this property, we'd have hogs. Because that's food, that's stuff we eat. Mm-hmm. And we process hogs. I'd love to do 2 hogs a year. One in fall and one in spring.
Yeah.
And that'd be great. But reality comes down to it. We're buying hog from a farmer and we're raising our own chickens and doing rabbits.
Yep.
If we could do goats, I'd do goats. It just all depends on what you can get away with.
Yeah. And if you are thinking of doing it, start really thinking now. Mm-hmm. Because spring is when most people get chicks. I liked getting it in the fall. I think we'll always get them in the fall.
Yeah. Well, and why did we get them in the fall? So, in case people haven't listened, why did we get them in the fall?
Why did we get them in the fall?
Well,
I don't remember.
All right, so the theory behind getting fall chicks is you raise them up at the end of summer, and then in the winter they go into their, I'm not going to lay as much eggs for you because it's dark out. Well,
you skip that whole...
You skip that whole cycle because you are raising them up and they're not laying in the winter, and then as soon as summer hits, boom.
January was when we got our first egg from the fall flock.
Right.
We got them in August. First egg was in January.
Yeah. So
maybe no.
February, March, somewhere in that range.
End of January. It was just I just saw it.
But either way, you're just coming out of the darkest point of the winter. They're laying more.
Yeah, because in spring they'll start laying in the fall, and then winter's here, and then they don't lay as much, and then they seem to never
pick back up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, these ones have done awesome so far.
So we do light. We do light it in the morning.
Yeah, they get extra light in the morning, then they go to bed at night with the sunset.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are seriously contemplating it, do it. Mm-hmm. Buy it. Don't buy all the wood in one shot to build the coop. Space it out.
Because even when you get the chicks, you still have...
You have at least
12,
8 weeks.
Yeah. And the one thing nice, too, about the fall chicks was we had them in a brooder out in the garage because it was August. Mm-hmm. So we never had to have them in the basement like the first ones because we had gotten those in March. You couldn't put those outside.
No.
In March.
No.
These ones, it was hot enough
that
they could be outside.
They had that heat pad for, what, a week?
Yeah, well, I think
not even
than that, but
they weren't using it all that much.
Yeah.
Because it was hot enough out. It was August, and they're in a garage.
Yeah.
The garage door's open during the day, but at night, it's plenty warm enough for them.
Yeah, so it all seemed to work out better. I don't understand why people may, I mean, I guess just spring is
Yeah.
like for babies, but
Yep, whatever.
you may not have as many options unless you know what you're looking for and you order them ahead of time. But we just go to Rural King and
Yeah, Rural King has always had a great selection throughout the year.
even in the fall, I mean, we got those gem. I
Yeah,
don't even know what they're called, but like fancy.
yeah,
I mean, all the eggs look the same, but
right. But Farm and Fleet, once spring is over,
yeah,
they're
they don't
done.
have it. Yeah,
They're done with chicks in the spring. Whereas Farm and Fleet, or not Farm and Fleet, Rural King goes all year round.
yeah. Tractor Supply, I don't know either because we didn't have that here then.
If you want meat birds in the middle of winter, which I don't know why you would, because that's just a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah.
But that you have that ability to get 25 meat birds from Rural King in the middle of winter if you want them.
Yep.
So it is what it is.
So yeah, I mean, if anybody is interested in getting started, I've got book recommendations. I mean, you can always email us or get us on Facebook or get us in Telegram and.
Yep, we'll have all the links in the show notes. Everything's usually down there.
Yeah.
But the main email is info@twochickshomestead.com.
But yeah, I mean, now is the time. Yesterday was better.
Yes.
Last week was even
the
better.
best. Yeah. Start planning it. Start coming up with it. Work your way through it and just slog through it. Get through the expensive part and have the fun part.
Yeah.
It's if you have kids, your kids will love raising
I mean,
chickens.
it's such a neat experience having this with kids.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, we're up recording right now, and we have a little guest down here who is our youngest chick, and she didn't want to go to bed tonight, so I don't know if she wants to come over and say hello. Nope, she's busy.
Yeah. But I mean, with the rabbits, I mean, our oldest is in 4-H, and she had to do a little speech. Well, she decided to do it on rabbits, and she was a little nervous. She's like, "Can I talk about eating them?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's 4-H.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine." But I mean, there were a lot of kids there that were like, "Really?"
Oh yeah.
Like it wasn't like, "Oh my God." It was more like,
right. Well, I mean, these are all kids who raise beef cows and pork.
Yeah, that are like big, big meat. But, I mean, there was a lot of interest with it because you don't hear about it a lot. And I know for a long time I didn't want to talk about it because it was a little weird. But now, I
had fun with it.
I know you did.
So, one of the little stories. So I don't think I've ever talked about this. We had somebody who used to work for us, at my current job, who had a rabbit. She had a Holland Lop, and she was always having health problems with the rabbit. I'm like, well, just bring the rabbit in. I'll take care of the rabbit for you. I'll bring it over to my place. You won't have to worry about it. And I just go back and forth, and she, tell me I'm freaking crazy. Well, I brought in Sloppy Hoppy one day, and she tried it. And she's like, "Oh my God, this is actually really good." I mean, it's Sloppy Joe's.
Yeah, it's just shredded rabbit.
Right, shredded rabbit with Sloppy Joe sauce.
Sloppy Joe or barbecue or whatever.
But I mean, it was good. She liked it. She was a little weirded out about it, but she tried it and understood why we do it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little fun back and forth, and I think the rabbit finally ended up going to somebody else's house, but
we never got that rabbit.
Yeah, no. But yeah, that was one of the things that I was having fun with when we had the rabbits, because it didn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean I'm the worrywart. I don't want to make waves.
Mm-hmm.
But now, it's like, we do it, and
yep. Would you like to learn how to do it?
Right.
We'll sit you down and you can learn.
And really, most of the people that complain, I want to go, I have never invited you over for dinner, so what difference does it make?
Right.
Like, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You're not all of a sudden going to have rabbit on your plate.
Right. And we'll be honest. Like, we're going to tell you when we feed you rabbit.
Yes. Yeah, I don't like... Yeah, I mean, our neighbor, unfortunately... I mean, he had me make a rabbit pot pie, and he didn't want to tell anybody, and I did not like that, because it just felt kind of, sneaky. Like, just tell someone.
But everybody who knew,
Yes, who knew that who brought it?
yes,
knew
knew what it was.
But still, was like, oh my goodness. Like,
So-
I don't want to be that.
right. You know, it's in a couple people were, you know, not really weirded out. It's like, where'd you guys get rabbits? And we point over
Yeah.
behind the garage, right there.
So yeah,
Yep.
do it if you want. Don't do it for the right reasons, and just be committed to it,
Right. Do it because you want to do it, not because you're going to save money doing it.
because you're not.
No, not at all.
All right. Well, from chicken to ham.
Yep.
So I went and I did my general class, quote unquote class, and I did not pass. I
It
tried
happens.
twice. The class was not what I was expecting. I had been studying here and there, but I did not commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it said class in a day or
Ham in a day.
something, yeah. And so when we got there, we got printouts of all the questions and the answers.
Mhm.
And we're told, okay, just sit and read.
Yeah.
It was like, what? He's like, I'll wake you up every 50 minutes, make you guys stand up, and then you can keep reading. So for hours and hours, we just sat and read, and then we're given tests, and a lot of people did pass.
Mhm.
I did not, because that just did not
That's not how you
seem to
learn.
work with me.
Yeah.
So I spent money and got to sit at a shooting club all day and listen to people shoot big guns and
Yeah.
read a paper. So
Well, I mean, it stinks. I feel bad that I made you go to it.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, how we weren't supposed to know.
Right. And I was really thinking it was going to be like a legit sit down and you're going to learn something.
Well, I know
class.
someone even said, "Oh, it wasn't so and so that was teaching then, because that's not how he does." And it was like, actually, it was.
Yeah,
so I
that's
don't.
who it was,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I mean, we're not going to
No.
drop names here, but it is what it is.
So I'm back to my original ham study app.
Yep. Slow and
just-
steady.
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Well, I know that there's another. You guys are having another testing in March, and I
Yep.
know I really need to do it before June or the end of June, before all the stuff changes.
Yeah, that's when they changed the question pool for general this year. I would like to see you get it by then, but I'm not going to push you. Because field day you can use the club's call.
I know, but
So,
still,
but I know you want to come down here and work on or play the radio a little bit.
I just want to be done. Like, I just want to stop thinking about it. Really,
yeah.
at this point,
Stop
I
thinking
just
about
want
it.
to be
Come
done.
have fun.
Yeah.
So, because I am not going to force you to get your extra. You
No.
want your extra, that's on you.
No.
So,
I mean, there's other things I want to be doing, and while I'm doing them, I'm feeling guilty because I really should be doing that, but I don't want to do that. So then I just kind of stand there in limbo all day. So
right.
if
Well, I
I
know
just
how that
get this
goes.
done, then I can move on again.
Yep. Absolutely.
But that's my ham update.
Yep. That's all right.
Yep.
You can keep moving forward.
Yep.
Go get it.
Yep.
I have faith.
We'll see.
So, a little update on the car. As you heard in the last episode, I was rear-ended by somebody. According to their insurance company, did about $4,000 worth of damage to my car on a $3,200 car. According to my insurance company, it was $1,800 damage on a $3,200 car. So I went with my insurance company because I am not going to total this car out. This car has 205,000 miles. It's 20 years old. I love this car. I can't replace this car for anywhere near what I have into this car. 3 days before I got into the accident, I had put $1,500 worth of repairs into it. I had literally just gotten the car back and just finished paying the shop to fix it when I got hit. It is what it is. So, worked out with insurance. We got the car back today, all repaired, and we came in under budget. So yeah, everything's all good, ready to go. Car's done. I'm happy. We'll get it. Next place is either gonna be the junkyard or the kids will drive it.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna throw a bunch of paint at this thing. It's 20 years old. It doesn't need to look pretty. It just needs to get me from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And it's a Honda. It's run pretty good so far. I have put almost 100,000 miles on it in 3 years. 3 years. So if I can get another 50 to 100,000 out of it, I have gotten my money's worth.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think we're pretty much about done for this week. You and I are kind of both fighting colds.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump out, go get some sleep.
Yep.
Get the girls to bed. And we will catch you next time.
All right. See you on the homestead, where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.